I've learned over the years that it's weak-minded to try to force your opinion on somebody. I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, well, if you think that such and such won a loss, then you're an idiot. You're a clown. I've never been like that. So it's like this. My personal opinion is that it was a robbery. Now, I state that because of that 117, 111 card. However, I understand, and listen. I'm not the type of person that doesn't research boxing in his free time. My whole life is boxing. I've covered, I want to say hundreds, it may have been thousands of fights now, or maybe 1,000 or over 1,000 since I've been on YouTube. I don't know. You don't have to tell me, well, did you watch it without the commentary? Did you watch it with this? Did you watch, with the sound off or with the sound on? Did you, telepathically watch it with the TV off? You don't have to tell me that type of shit. I'm not no casual, and I'm not no guy that's just new to the sport. This is not 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15, for the people who've been around. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not just some guy who does YouTube videos anymore, and I'm not a guy who just says shit just to say shit, and I'm not a guy who rides with Pacquiao because I've been a Pacquiao fan growing up. Just like when Pacquiao got knocked the fuck out, I called it like it is, just like I lost thousands of subscribers, thousands that I can prove to you. When the whole supposedly Filipino community, not the whole, turned their back on me when I didn't want to feed into the narrative of Manny Pacquiao beat Floyd Mayweather if you watch it in slow motion. Because I didn't feed into that narrative, I lost a lot of subscribers. So don't come here with that old shit talking about, well, of course you're going to say Pacquiao won. You're a Pacquiao fan. But look at it like this, right? As I said before, I've said it many times, I have no allegiances to any boxers or anything. If a fighter lost or if they won, I genuinely feel that way. There's no fucking narrative or nothing. I don't get paid no real money off this shit. So what's my reason for trying to bend the truth? Unlike some people, but however, I can understand, when it comes to YouTube, Manny Pacquiao has he has a large fan base of casual boxing fans, but also he has strong YouTube media, people who are much more, bigger than myself and my little 27,000 subscribers that genuinely have shown that they won't give Manny Pacquiao a fair shake. So it's like this, right? My opinion is that Pacquiao won the fight. Just like you're entitled to your opinion, and you can't be mad at me because that shows immaturity, and that's just not how adults do things. When you're like, oh, well, you're wrong because Pacquiao won the fight, lost the fight, and you need to agree with us. When in fact, if you think that Pacquiao lost the fight, then you are in the minority. And also, if people want to say, throw out names like credible boxing media, yo, don't you know I be working at events with these people? You'd be surprised how casual these people don't listen. Just because they be with certain media affiliations, I'm not going to say their names, but don't think that they be putting their whole life in the boxing like we do. So if you want to throw out names like this person from this such and such and said this and they really feel, yeah, they be casual like a motherfucker, to be honest with you. So it's like this, right? I can understand after watching the fight, probably like I lost count of 7. I probably watched it. It's been about 10 times now. So I'll be doing shit on the computer, right? Or doing shit somewhere else or cleaning up. It's either on, the television or I have it like playing in the background or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I sit back and I analyze each round. But that's not the topic of the video. The topic of the video is, should Manny Pacquiao retire? It's looking like he wants the rematch, but it's looking like Bob Arum doesn't want the rematch. Now, of course, people are blaming Bob Arum. They're like, yep, the same way he robbed him against Bradley, he's going to rob him. He robbed him against Jeff Horn, and now, I don't know. But however, I do feel, and I do have some sources that says that it is corruption. But how much corruption can it be for a close fight? It was a close fight, but 117, 111 is what a controversy is at. 117, 111 is what a controversy is at. 117, 111? Now, I had it 115, 113. But 117, 111? So now you have Jeff Horn, who's a superstar over there right now. What is that? What is that? Oh, that's some lint or something. You have Jeff Horn, who's a superstar over there right now in Australia. He's going to be appearing on all these Australian TV shows. They had a big media thing for him. As I said, he's got a big a target on his back for all the 147-pound division to see. But here's something that you don't know. The WBO the title that Jeff Horn has is said to be, you know, by boxing fans in HBO, Frank Warren, Bob Arum belt. Did you notice that Al Heyman fighters don't fight for the WBO title, or they're rarely, if ever, ranked for mandatories? The president of the WBO, was it 2 years ago? Reached out to Senator John McCain via Twitter and was like, "Yo, can you do something about him with this Muhammad Ali Act shit?" Remember when Peter Quillen dropped the WBO title? Took a lot of heat. Career was never the same again. We had Austin Trout, former 154-pound WBA champion, mysteriously disappeared from the WBO rankings when he was active and when he was winning. And guess what? Liam Smith got a shot that at Canelo that Austin Trout technically should have got. So I guess what I'm saying is I really feel that the WBO is going to protect Jeff Horn from those type of fighters, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jeff Horn versus Timothy Bradley. Also, what was up with Timothy Bradley? You know, he really wasn't giving Manny a fair shake. It seemed like watching that telecast, and remember, they was playing, it was ESPN, so they went in. So after the fight, it was a whole, like, hour, 2 hours, you know, where they were, like, talking about the fight and going in detail. That's what I like about ESPN. So even though we're missing out on the commercials, you know what I mean, on the after the round, you know, the in the corner stuff in between rounds because of commercials. But you get so much analysis afterwards on Sports Center and after the fight, you know, so it depends on how you look at it. So it's not like it's on like NBC, you know, or CBS with free television where you know, it's just after the fight goes off, the nightly news got to come on. On ESPN, you get like in-depth analysis after it, you know? That shit was deep. You know, so it didn't seem like Timothy Bradley was really happy. Also, the ratings. It was a big hit for cable television overall. 3.1 million, and for the Pacquiao Horn fight, 4.4. Now, of course, when it comes to, you know, like the overall record for free television or cable as of recently, Errol Spence holds it. Because he knocked out Leonard Bundu after USA Basketball won the chip. And basically those ratings carried right over. They didn't have an undercard. They went directly from USA getting the gold medal to Errol Spence in the ring with Leonard Bundu. You know, so it was a good way to keep the fans, but also let's be real here. It's really hard to really gauge those ratings because you don't know how many people left the TV on, or how many people left the TV on because USA Basketball won the chip, and it basically, you know, like looking at the math of it is really hard to like look at those views. But either way, those views are there. I'm not hating or anything like that. I'm just being real. The shit I talk about, you can go look up yourself. I keep saying that. But for some reason, when I talk about the facts, because I'm black and I gotta keep saying it. It's just like, yo, you just hating on a man because he's black. Why is he gotta be like that? You learned that from them other channels, not me. You know, so I'm just trying to give y'all a fair shake in boxing. So moving on. When you look at cable television, ESPN is not free TV, even though they were saying it was. You have to have cable to get ESPN. You know, also, they were talking about not the people who were streaming, because if you have, you can stream ESPN, you know, from your cable provider. You know, but for the actual views, Pacquiao Horn, for that fight, the final half an hour, 4.4 million. That's massive. And then you have to factor in, it was a holiday weekend, so of course people were having barbecues. So imagine how many people were at barbecues like, oh shit, that Pacquiao fight, come on, everybody, y'all finish eating, get your plates and everything, we'll watch this fight. You see what I'm saying? So if you really look at it, if this wasn't on a weekend that was a holiday weekend, imagine if people were in the house and this came on, you know? It could have been probably maybe 5 million that watched on a half an hour. 5.56. This was a big major deal. Also factor in if this was on free TV. What if this was free TV and not ESPN? Could have that did 10 million? If everybody was able to watch? So huge success for Top Rank Boxing. Huge success for ESPN, and you only have to wish that Heyman would have done this. That Heyman would have been so bold with this. And Mayweather would have fought Andre Berto on free TV CBS. So, I just don't feel that Pacquiao should retire off of a loss like that. And the fucked up part about it is the fight has to happen in Brisbane, and he has to happen, and he has to knock him out. Also, why don't people keep bringing up the you know, Pacquiao? Well, you know, he hasn't had a knockout in such a long period of time. You don't even want to get me to start on that subject. You know, so I'm just going to say this. The man is 38 years old. Not giving age an excuse, but he's never been known. He's more of a better boxer now than he's been. I'm talking about like boxer. Like not power puncher, you know, pressure fighter. He's more of a better boxer than now, you know, over the last 5 years than he was the 5 years prior. He was just, you know, a guy that's going to go out there and slaughter you. So it's not like it's not like also that he's not fighting guys that are always 10, 15, 20 pounds heavier than him sometimes. Remember, this is a guy that makes 147 easily and has to eat up to maintain the weight. So if you really look at it, he's a 140 pounder. But like I said, these are the type of things, you know, it's a shame that Pacquiao doesn't get the respect that he deserves from, you know, I want to say, see what it is it's an isolated pocket of boxing fans that don't give him respect. You know, and I just don't know what it is, especially like when, you know, especially like when you look at like what he's done for the sport and the fact that when Mayweather was retiring on and off, Pacquiao was the one holding down the sport as far as the top draw. And also, his fights be exciting still. And for him to be 38 years old, and people say he washed up and everything, for him to still fight on that level, you know, and still bring in those big ratings, you know. So don't be surprised if Jeff Horn's first defensive is not Pacquiao either, Timothy Bradley or Terrence Crawford. But then again, it probably can't be Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford's fighting on August the 19th in Omaha, by the way. No, not in Omaha, in Nebraska. Is it Lincoln, Nebraska? In Nebraska, I forgot where. You know, to unify all the titles, and he's supposed to be moving to 147 this year. But Manny Pacquiao's supposed to return in November. Basically, the timing is just, you know, the timing is right if Jeff Horn wants to hold out. And I don't know, you know, it's too complex. You know, before I start talking about it, it's going to take me like 20 minutes to explain. So I'm going to wait for another video. But I feel like Pacquiao shouldn't retire. I do feel that it was a close fight. And yes, I can understand where people come from, where they say, well, it wasn't really a robbery. But 117, 111, and even if it's not a split decision or a majority decision, you give them all 3 cards? Robbery. And I'm not just the only one saying it. And once again, to go back to what I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not some casual-ass boxing, you know, guy, media fan, whatever you want to call it. I don't just roll with the popular opinion. I don't be like, well, they're saying this, so yeah. Like, come on, we're grown, we're adults. All right? T Street Controversy, this is T Street Controversy Live. Cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.